The first night it happened, I thought it was just another bad dream. I had been half asleep, floating in that quiet space between rest and worry, when I felt the mattress shift beside me. At first, I didn't open my eyes. As a single mother, I had learned to stay alert even in sleep, always listening, always ready. The house was quiet, the old wooden floors no longer creaking with movement. Then I felt a small hand touch my arm. "Mom," a whisper said. I opened my eyes and saw my son, Ethan, standing beside my bed. He was 8 years old, barefoot, his hair messy from sleep, clutching his pillow like it was the most important thing in the world. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" I asked, sitting up slowly. He hesitated, his eyes darting toward the dark hallway behind him. I couldn't sleep. I lifted the blanket without thinking. "Come on, you can stay here." Ethan climbed in beside me, keeping a polite distance like he always did. He wasn't the clingy type. Even when he was younger, he preferred independence. That was why this moment felt different. His body was tense, his breathing shallow. I wrapped an arm around his shoulders, and slowly, his breathing eased. Within minutes, he was asleep. I didn't think much of it then. Kids had nightmares. Life had been hard lately. I figured it would pass. But it didn't. The second night, he came again. And the third. By the fifth night in a row, I knew something was wrong. Ethan wasn't just scared, he was worried. One morning at breakfast, as sunlight spilled across the kitchen table, I watched him push his cereal around without eating. His shoulders were slumped, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. "Ethan," I said gently, "do you want to tell me what's been going on?" He shrugged. I waited. Silence had always worked better than pressure with him. Finally, he whispered, "I don't like the nights." My heart tightened. "Why?" He looked up at me then, really looked at me, like he was deciding whether to trust me with something important. "I hear things," he said. "What kind of things?" He shook his head. "Not sounds. Feelings." That stopped me cold. "What do you mean?" He took a deep breath. "I feel like you're sad when you think I'm asleep." I didn't know what to say. I had tried so hard to protect him from my struggles. After his father passed away 3 years earlier, I became both parent and protector, hiding my grief behind routines and smiles. I cried in the shower. I cried late at night. I thought I was being careful. But children notice everything. "I don't want you to be sad alone," Ethan said quietly. Something broke inside me. That night, when he came to my bed again, he didn't just lie down. He turned toward me, clutching his pillow, and said something I would never forget. "I came to make sure you're okay." I swallowed hard. "I'm okay, buddy." He shook his head. "Grown-ups say that when they're not." I pulled him close, resting my chin on his hair. No child should feel responsible for their parents' emotional pain, and yet there he was, trying to be brave in a world that had already taken too much from him. That was the moment everything changed. The next day, I made a decision. I stopped pretending, not in a way that burdened him, but in a way that let him see honesty instead of silence. I talked about missing his dad in healthy ways. I told him it was okay to feel sad and okay to feel happy again too. We started sharing one good thing and one hard thing every night before bed. Slowly, Ethan stopped coming into my room. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't feel the need to protect me anymore. Months passed, and the house felt lighter. Laughter returned. So did peace. Then one night, as I tucked him into bed, he hugged me tightly and said, "Mom." "Yes, I think you're stronger now." I smiled. "So are you." Years later, when Ethan was a teenager, he brought up those nights again. "I thought if I stayed with you," he said, "nothing bad could happen." I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "You saved me more than you know." Because sometimes, love doesn't come in grand gestures. Sometimes, it comes in quiet footsteps in the dark. And sometimes, a child reminds a parent how to heal.